Hi. I have more to say about this 2023 and what's going on right now, but it seems like the water is dripping down from heaven to earth, and what's happening to that water? The water is touching us and it's cleansing us, and the idea is coming into people's heads and hearts to tell the truth now, to change this world together. Let's together listen to God and do the right thing. I've seen that there's so much injustice that has happened recently. We could see more clearly in the last few years regarding some forced or coerced actions upon the public by many governments around the world, which caused purposeful harm upon the people, thus destroying them. I'm not going to get into too much more detail regarding that, but because of the efforts by major media, major companies trying to squash some freedom of expression. So right now, I would have to say that if you are on social media, try to tell the truth at the very least. If you are able to speak with friends and family and even strangers, just tell them the truth. Get the word out. Get your thoughts out. Get your feelings out. God doesn't want you to keep it inside any longer. I'm not sure if you could feel it already, but I think most of us feel it. God is telling you, God is telling me that it's time to speak out loudly now. So speak out, tell the truth, and tell your truth, not just the truth that you know from other people. Tell your truth. Give people your thoughts, your analysis, your experiences, your logic behind things, behind your reasoning. Be bold now, and just move forward, okay? Move forward towards the light and get away from that darkness. Don't have to look back at it at all. Just keep moving towards the light. And you will be protected. God will protect all of us. God will protect you. But just keep moving towards the light. Just keep doing the right thing. Ask yourself, what is one thing you could do? Perhaps it is like just talking to your neighbor about what's been going on. Perhaps you've noticed some discrepancies in the news. You've noticed that, maybe, you've noticed more cancer, perhaps, than there should be, or than you have seen in the past among friends, neighbors, relatives. Well, why don't you talk about it? Something that I've heard recently is that the bees around the world have been dying Because of what? Because of 5G, electromagnetic fields or radiation. And most people don't know that 5G, what does it consist of? They don't really know. So 5G is similar to 4G, except it is of higher frequencies and usually above 1 gigahertz. So 1 gigahertz is 1 billion cycles per second. That's a lot. That's pretty darn high frequencies. It's higher than microwave. So this encompasses the millimeter waves, and many of these waves can actually, with such high frequencies, you can actually affect animals and people and plants more easily. For instance, around 60 gigahertz, you can dissociate oxygen from hemoglobin and thus cause a lot of people to basically perish because their bodies or their blood would not be able to transport oxygen through the blood to the cells that need it. Another thing about 5G is that 5G acts similar. It uses phased array antennas, which act similarly to lasers. So they're basically like coherent waves. So you could say that they're a type of EMF laser, but millimeter wave laser, you could say. And of course, they want to make 6G, which is of higher frequency than 5G, which I believe goes up to about 300 gigahertz. But you know, you can see that the higher the frequencies, the more likely they're going to cause direct damage to our bodies and the body, and I guess the plant matter and animal matter. So, you know, if you have bees that are being destroyed by 5G, it will damage the food supply because the bees are necessary for pollination of our crops, our trees, so on and so forth. That includes orchards, the fruit, you know, on the orchards may not even grow. They might not even come out if you don't have the bees around. Now that to me is a nightmare scenario, and I truly don't wish to see it happen, but it probably is happening right now because of the mass deployment of 5G technology all around the world. And I noticed that something was going on right around the time when the pandemic had come out in 2020. I noticed something fishy going on when those towers or phased array antennas were going up. I realize something now. You know, there is no such thing as a coincidence. The more you observe things, the more you realize that there is no such thing as a coincidence. So hopefully that will, open up your mind a bit. But it is time right now to tell the truth. It is time right now to not be afraid. Let's work together and make this planet a much better place to live than it was. Let's get rid of these jokesters, these gangsters around the world. let's do it together. Thank you for listening, and I'll try to make it shorter next time. Thanks.